I have had the privilege of interacting with lots and lots of you, but not enough of you in my brief 4-year engagement in Dark Skies work. During that time, the goals have been fairly clear, and it's been really wonderful to work with the board on articulating those goals through the vision and purpose statements. If you'd go ahead and take a second to read over those. I'll give it a read too if this lighting isn't working for you. Our vision statement currently resides as the night sky filled with stars is celebrated and protected around the world as a shared heritage benefiting all living things. Have any of you ever drafted language to guide an organization together? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Give me a thumbs up if you're gonna do it ever again. I learned a lot about the way that we think about our goals, the way that we think about who we're working for, and the brilliance and different facets that bring our colleagues to this work. What's that? Is that better? Yes. Thank you. I learned a lot from watching us struggle with this language and watching the way that we all advocated to make sure that our particular angle of coming to this work was represented. And I learned a lot about how challenging it was to distill all of those commitments into that purpose statement. Look at how simple it is. Purpose, to protect the night from light pollution. That sucker took about 4 months. Yep. And a part of the reason it did is because a lot of our language has inherent meaning that we don't always share. And so a lot of our conversation was, what do you mean by that? And so now that we've clarified what do we mean by that, we hope as closely as possible so that you can see yourself reflected in these vision and purpose statements. Then we came to the critical question, how do we do this work? And we realized that in all of the spaces we're working in, we're looking for opportunities and in fact creating opportunities to engage people who didn't know they cared about this work. Very often when I'm approached for the first time by someone new to the cause, they approach angry. They approach angry about a neighbor's light that is glaring into their bedroom. They approach angry about a new development whose community wasn't consulted. And that anger is really justified. I have the privilege of engaging with legislators generally for much of my professional work. And what I've seen is that the anger that often motivates us to act can be the very anger that turns those away whose ears we need. And so it took a moment for me to consider what that meant for how we do our work. And I was really thrilled that the board was excited about articulating this for how we see ourselves as an organization. What does it mean to feel an urgency, to be deeply motivated, and to commit in a way that motivates effective action and enduring engagement? So I'm pleased to announce our values. This is a new feature of the way that we're conceiving our work. And we hope that by articulating these values, when confronted as advocates, offered an opportunity to act, to speak with a developer, to design a new product, to indeed engage with a legislator, that we can use these as a sort of filter. That we can use these to ask, how can I represent the best version of how we accomplish this work in a way that is positive, welcoming, resolute, and non-compromising, but that has a forward-looking vision that understands that we're in this for the long haul and that our work is friend-raising. So I'd like to list them for you. Where can folks find these so that they can see them more broadly articulated? Great. And these all are accompanied by sort of explanatory statements that Ruskin just said he'll be sharing with you. And that means that I'm going to do a little exercise in us defining them together in the session that I'm leading later today that I just added right now in my brain. So that's exciting. So I'd like to read them now. Passion. Y'all are here on your own time. You are taking time away from your families. You are taking time away from the parts of your work that are more sanctioned or more understood by your colleagues. You're taking time to travel, to be in a new situation and engage with folks you don't know because you're committed. Credibility is about the evidence that we utilize to inform our decision making. We're committed to building relationships. We're committing to working together, to building community, and to allowing people to see how preservation of natural night is good for everyone. We come to those relationships committed to consensus decision making whenever possible. We're committed to inclusion. We understand that dark sky protection is for every single living being on the planet. All of the humans, race, color, creed, are all impacted. We're committed to carrying this work forward in a way that is nonpartisan. It doesn't matter how you filled in your circles on your recent ballot, unless there was a dark sky initiative on it. And then it shouldn't matter how you filled in your circles on your ballot. We want everybody filling that circle in towards dark sky preservation. And then finally, we come from a celebratory, adventurous space. It's easy to look around, especially when we're in a cityscape, and feel overwhelmed and frustrated. But it's so fun that when we work on this, the second that a fixture is changed, the light pollution that fixture had been emitting previously is gone for all time. Isn't that a victory? Right? So it's really important that we stay positive and celebratory of all of the victories that have come before and that await. Thanks so much for your time.